Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. I'm your host, Dr. Kathy, and today I'm really excited to talk to one of our board members who has a thriving pediatric and pregnancy practice. Now, when I say thriving, I'm talking 90% of his patients are pediatrics and pregnancy, and that is one of our board members, Dr. Kaleb Scroggin, down in Savannah. How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks, Dr. Kathy, for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, so many people that we talk to have family practices, and I think that the majority of us, we really strive toward having a family practice. But somewhere along the line, I've heard so many doctors say, I wish I could attract more babies. I wish I could attract more little kids, or I wish I could get the parents to bring their kids in, or I'd really like to start seeing more pregnant women, but they just kind of come once in a blue moon, and then I have pregnant women, then I have a baby, and then they grow up. So let's talk a little bit today about what some of our docs that are watching can do and learn from you, because you've really built a network down there in Savannah.
Absolutely. So our practice is about 90% pregnancy and pediatric. And I kind of consider pediatric like newborn to like 2 to 3 years old. Once they get beyond that, I call it, it's still technically pediatrics, but they're like kids versus like babies.
So
And
you
I would
have
say
that many little ones coming in.
little ones coming in. And that population's growing. Our practice is only 5 years old. So, if we started some babies back when we originally practiced, they're still only, 4 or 5, even if they started on the day one that we opened. And so we have a lot of people that have been with us from the start, but I would say what I have noticed is a lot of chiropractors, when you start up a new patient, I would say most of the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, most of the time they have already been to another chiropractor before. It's the type of person that goes to a chiropractor. Well, I think that 10% that everybody talks about with that utilization
Right, you
is
just keep recycling
they just
them
keep going
around. We're not,
to
yes.
to different chiropractors. Our practice, I think, is a little bit different with the vast majority of our patients have never been to a chiropractor before. And sure, granted, a lot of them are newborns, so they really haven't had time to go to somebody else. But the pregnant moms, the pregnant moms have also never been to a chiropractor. And the only reason that they're going to a chiropractor is their OB or midwife told them that they need to. And so it's not like a friend or, a Facebook group, but it's literally their provider is saying, hey, we know this person, we trust this person. They know what they're doing, and they really get good results. And you know what? I'm sure you know this. And sometimes you probably hate it. Sometimes you love it. But what do pregnant women do? Anything their OB tells them. And so you may agree with it, you may not, but that's what they're doing. And so what we do is get their OB to tell them that they need chiropractic care. And so that's where the majority.
I'm going to stop you right there. I have to jump in because I know that there's somebody watching this right now like, yeah, right. Like the OBs in my town would tell the patients to go to chiropractor. I know somebody's listening to this going like, what kind of magic stuff are you smoking down in Savannah? Because there is no way that the OBs in Atlanta or the OBs in, Northwest Georgia or, Southeast Georgia, there's someone thinking that that's not even possible, that's not even in the realm of possibility. And obviously it is. And as we know, a trusted referral, patients are more likely to stick with the care. So talk to us about that, because there's somebody right now thinking like, how in the world is that going to happen?
Yeah, so sometimes it takes a while. It's just like anything else in life. It's building a relationship. There's no special tricks. There's definitely some things you don't do and things that you do, but it's all in that realm of just creating a relationship with them. If you want a pediatric practice, and you'll know this, it's much easier to talk to literally anyone else than it is a pediatrician. Pediatricians are a lot more difficult to talk to, but OBs, they're much more open. They want to help their patients, and their patients are growing. Their center of gravity is different. They have their relaxin contributing to all kinds of things, and they're uncomfortable. Their ribs hurt, their hips hurt, their whatever. And so they want to help them. And so you position yourself as a colleague. You reach out to them. You say, listen, I help with X, Y, and Z. It really helps for someone who specializes like an OB to know that you have specific training in that area, that you're not just you graduated chiropractic school and you want to take care of pregnant people. That's great. Do that. But they want to also hear that you've done, stuff through the ICA or the ICPA or whoever else, and say, hey, I'm certified in this, and I really have great results with you and with the things that you're seeing, and we would love to help your patients. There's like a whole system that we do that takes a lot longer, but essentially it's building a relationship with them.
So for those OBs that you're reaching out to, for the people that are watching, would you suggest that you start off with a referral from a mutual patient, like someone that's already a patient in your office and gets pregnant and starts going to an OB? Or have you just kind of cold called people? Have you met them at different events in your community? Give them something that they should start pointing their direction in.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of everything. The majority of our marketing efforts go to providers. We market to the public very little. We have a Facebook and we have an Instagram, but the majority of our actual time in marketing is going to providers. And that's kind of, it's worked very well for us, but we have, what chiropractors don't do that every other provider does is when somebody sends someone else a patient, a referral, they send them a full report back showing exactly what they're doing, exactly what they found, exactly what the protocol is, what to expect, all that. And we do that. And when we get a referral from an OB, we do our exam, we do our intake, we do all that. And we have a one sheet that we have their demographics, what they came in with, what we found chiropractically, what their problems are. And usually we wait probably 2 weeks to send it so that we can have some kind of results in there. And so we just do that over and over and over and over to every child or pregnant person that comes into our office gets a report sent, whether that person sent us the patient or not. And so they get to know us, they get a relationship with us regardless, because they have to read that stuff. They have to put it in there. They're seeing it over and over and over. We're sending, several of these a week, and there's only so many providers in Savannah. So for us, it might be a little bit easier than if you're in Metro Atlanta, but
although maybe, there's two ways to look at it. There's a lot more providers in the Metro Atlanta region. So someone who's practicing in that area can reach out to a lot more providers, where you're building really good relationships, an inch wide, but a mile deep. Somebody else might be building a mile wide, but only an inch deep. But either way, building those relationships and having those patients being sent as a recommendation from what they believe is their trusted healthcare provider, that's a great third-party endorsement right there.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we send those, and then what I thought worked really well, and it was a little counterintuitive to most, but during the pandemic, when everybody was locking their front doors, you know who always is going through medical providers' offices are our drug reps. And you know what they stopped doing was going. They started calling, they stopped going in and bringing them cookies and donuts and whatever. And so I just doubled down on our philosophy of health and just went in. And they hadn't seen anybody in a month. And we come in and, hey, we just moved to the area, and here's, a box of cookies, and here's for the staff, and here's this sheet on what we do. And they were like, oh my gosh. And we thought we were going to be hit with so much resistance. And they were just like, no, come on in. Doctor isn't busy right now. Come on back. And And so you just talk with them, and it's really just little things. So we send the intake forms, or what we call them, those sheets that we fax to them. We go by, we talk to them, we call them and check in, see, hey, what are you seeing? And it's more of a provider thing. I know there's a lot of people that talk about doing lunch and learns and things like that. Personally, I feel that positions you as somebody that's selling to them versus a colleague. I don't think the cardiologist goes in and does a lunch and learn. They're somebody who is another provider who is helping the same patients and provides a quality service. And so that's how we positioned ourselves, and I think it's worked pretty well.
I love it. So years ago, I remember somebody asking Dr. Owais, who was one of our past presidents, one of our board members, how do you get people to show up for your XYZ, right? Your luncheons, your dinners, whatever. And his answer was so Dr. Owais, if you know him, he was like, you ask them, right? And it was such a great answer. And your answer to, how do you build these relationships? You literally just walked in their doors.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't wait for an invitation. You didn't try for 6 months to schedule a time that was good. You just walked in their door.
Yeah.
And you brought something that kind of got you to stay in the door.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting when you make what you're doing interesting too. So like it's OBs, I feel like most of them around town are very on board with chiropractic. We have most of the OBs in town refer us people. The pediatricians are a little harder. And so when I meet with them, it's about this really cool thing. It's not, hey, you're sending your people to go do this, but they could do this. No, it's, man, have you heard about this really cool thing? Like, we're having such good success with it. And they're like, huh, really? I didn't think about that. And we have several pediatricians that refer to us based on that alone. Just, hey, man, this is there. I know that you probably looked it up and you didn't see much research in your journals, but this is really cool and it works. Versus trying to stand my ground and like oppose, and they like it. They're people. So, and they want to help their patients as well.
So the saying that just went through my mind is you catch a lot more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm not known for that, because I'm known for being that bulldozer in a china shop that I'm like, let's tell everybody how bad it is and how good it really could be. Right. Mm-hmm. That's just who I am. And that works for me. But I love that approach of going in and like making an ally, making a friend with them, making a good network where you say, look, you do what you do. Let us do what we do. Not insulting them, not changing what they do, not trying to tell them to change. Just, hey, you do what you do. This is something cool that we can do to help too.
Yeah, we and like I said before, it's not relying on one provider. It's we're reaching out to everybody. We have lactation consultants, doulas are great, mental health counselors, birth photographers.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Birth photographers. They're taking a picture of that newborn that's 2 days old and they're all crooked.
Right.
Training, taking 10 minutes to walk a group of newborn photographers on what they should look like versus what they do. Brilliant. And there you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So you just gave us a bunch. You gave us the OBs, you gave us the pediatricians, the lactation consultants, the doulas, you gave us the birth photographers. I mean, that's a great start right there. So anyone that's watching, if you make those connections, you start reaching out to those people and do like Dr. Kaleb did. Just walk in and say hi, bring them a little gift, bring them a basket of flowers or cookies or one of those bouquets of fruit, like something that gets you in the door where people are receptive to you, because we've all had people walk in our doors with a box of cookies or who knows what. And if it's not your thing, okay. But if it's something that your staff would be interested in, you're going to open the door to them for a minute or two.
Absolutely. It's all about, at the end, it's creating the relationship. And that's like any relationship. You got to give, you got to, like there's take, there's conversation, there's, when somebody refers you 5 patients and they don't hear anything back, they stop sending just because they don't even know that they're going there.
Right. That's great. Thank you, Kaleb. This is awesome. And for the docs watching, if you have any questions, I'm sure Kaleb would be happy to have you reach out to him.
Love it.
Yes?
Absolutely. Okay. All the time.
All right. Now, Kaleb, are you coming up to the Atlanta area anytime soon? I know we've got some events coming up.
I know. I am. So we have May 7th at 7, right, is Cinco de Chiro. It's going to be amazing. We have Dr. Dan Tu, who's the president of the GCC. He'll be speaking on some philosophy. And who else do we have? We have
Dr. Vanessa Pizza.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love her.
She's a newer doc, 2 practices. She's just rocking and rolling, and she brings a great story.
Awesome. Yeah. And then what else? We have some CE coming up too as well, right?
We do. We have some CE coming up all over the state. I know we're bouncing around the state trying to make sure that we make it convenient for our docs. And then one of the things that just came up recently is we talked about maybe moving one of those CE events to a Friday, Saturday type of format. So if that's something that you're actually interested in and you're hearing this for the first time, don't be too surprised, because so is our executive director. She might be cringing at me right now for saying that, but we're looking at moving at least one of those events to a Friday, Saturday, if that would accommodate people's schedules a little bit better. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, just put a comment below this video and say, yes, Friday, Saturday would work for me, or keep it as it is. But yeah, so Kaleb, we're gonna get to see you at a bunch of these events.
Oh yeah, love it.
And then of course we're all coming down to Savannah because we love our continuing ed down there.
Oh yeah, that's in November. So it's a little bit away.
It's a little bit away. We got some time, but we'll see you between now and then. So Kaleb, I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge and giving us some tips to improve our patient ratio and get a lot more of those moms and babies coming in the doors.
Awesome. And it's so life-changing. So you got to do it.
Absolutely. It absolutely changes their life for the better. So thank you so much, Kaleb. Thank you everyone for watching. And don't forget to stay tuned every Wednesday at 1:30 right here on our GCC page for the Georgia Chiro Connection. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.